Title: Last Call for Anchor Brewing, a century-old beer titan taps out. TLDR. The iconic, trailblazing Anchor Brewing Company, San Francisco's beer pride for a whopping 127 years, has dropped a shocker. They're closing down due to declining sales. Citing tough economic conditions, competition from other beverages, and the COVID-19 pandemic aftermath, they're packing up the hops and barrels after trying to stay afloat in these frothy market conditions. Hang up your beer goggles, folks. The party's over at the Anchor Brewing Company, a legendary figurehead in the beer world that's been pouring us glasses of frothy goodness for 127 long years. The San Francisco icon has announced it's finally time to call it quits. Now, we're not here to sob over spilled beer, but instead, raise our glass to toast their remarkable journey. Since the 1970s, when the nation was drunk on love for a few major brands, Anchor Brewing Company started bubbling away at craft beers, pushing boundaries, and shaking things up a bit, or a lot. Their innovative brewing methods sparked a nationwide beer fever, turning everyday folk into beer nerds overnight. But, alas, every party has to end sometime. And for Anchor, that time has arrived. The current boom in craft drinks, spirits, and wines, coupled with lockdown pressures during the COVID-19 pandemic, have hit beer sales hard. The overall beer sales volume in the US slid 3.1% last year, according to the Brewers Association. Anchor Brewing's story is as frothy as their ales. They've wobbled on the brink of insolvency before, saved by Fritz Maytag, a Stanford grad who transformed their brewing practices and put them back on the map. But now, even their collection of respected brews, from the Anchor Porter to the Old Foghorn Barley Wine Ale and their annual Christmas Ale, can't keep them from drying out. As author Jeff Allworth poetically put it, Maytag sparked a revival in small-scale brewing and gave the craft beer industry its swagger. But in an ironic twist of fate, the industry they ignited seems to have overshadowed them. Despite the efforts to find a suitable buyer for the brewery and its brands over the past year, none came forward. And now, even though the brand has been sold to Japanese brewer Sapporo in 2017, it seems like the brewery's fate is sealed. For San Franciscans, the news hit like a keg to the gut. Francis Baxter, a native, likened Anchor steam beer to sourdough bread, something so uniquely San Francisco. Closing this tap is indeed a bitter brew to swallow. But the legacy of Anchor Brewing Company will continue to ripple through every craft beer that's brewed and enjoyed. This is more of a see you later than a goodbye, isn't it? So, will the fall of this titan spell a larger crisis for the craft beer industry, or will it merely stir up the pot, leading to fresh, bubbly innovations? What's the future for craft brewing? What's your take?